Okay. Welcome everyone to our club support session for tonight, August 20th, 2023. I'm Yuri. I'll be facilitating this session. Although I will mainly get out of the way and let our presenter share with us for the first 30 minutes, followed by a 30-minute Q&A. That is how it will work. Our presenter, Kathy Shine, will take the first 30 minutes to present the session about what club websites, followed by a 30-minute Q&A focused, please, on the topic of club websites. I will now go ahead and introduce Kathy and her presentation. Our club support session leader is Kathy Shine, a current area director who has personally supported over 220 new members and sponsored 3 new clubs. She has successfully served as club coach for 4 clubs and helped her 5 clubs earn President's Distinguished Club status more than 25 times. What can you expect in the next 30 minutes? Kathy will share 5 specific actions to update the public-facing section of a free Toast host website. Each of them will take just 10 minutes. During a Q&A segment, she can also provide insights to maximize the pathways curriculum to guide your own personal growth while contributing to the success of your club. Let's learn about the possibilities to increase interest and traffic to your Toastmaster club with 10 minutes to a better club website. Kathy Shine.
Thank you, Yuri. It's a pleasure to be with all of you this evening. I just want to verify that you are able to see my shared screen. Yes.
Yes. Yes,
excellent. So 10 minutes to a better club website. One of the reasons that I wanted to talk about this in chunks of 10 minutes is that I realized, number one, that it is hard for some people to manage a lot of time to update their club website. So I wanted to come with the approach of maybe 10 minutes per month of an investment for updating your club website. And secondarily, I'm taking this approach by the idea that we might be using our club website to help our members. We might use our club website to help visiting Toastmasters, or we might be working to provide information for prospective members, as well as guests who have never heard of Toastmasters and they're just checking things out for the very first time. So that's the perspective that I'm coming in with these particular suggestions. So I have 5 for you for the first part of the evening, and then we'll take some Q&A. Recommendation number 1. Update your club calendar. So why is this listed as the number 1 issue? Well, my first approach is I want to address this from all perspectives, whether you're a member, a visiting Toastmaster, if you are a prospective member or a guest. This item will showcase for us what is available to them and when is your availability for them to visit you. So after the July Toastmasters Leadership Institute that was conducted by District 35, we sent a little survey and members were able to participate and give us their feedback. We had roughly 35 responses, so I spent the time and I looked at every single club's website. And what I found, unfortunately, is that more than 50% of the club websites basically look like this. There is a month of August, there was a month of July, and no information is populated. Now, I understand that some clubs take off during the summer, but as I went through August, September, October, November, there were no dates populated. So this raises curiosity for me at all levels of interest in checking out a club website, whether or not the club is actually active. Another insight is that I went to other club websites and I found information that was populated. Now, what you'll notice on the club calendar is that if there is a blue section like Waukesha Toastmasters has, This means that this date is populated based upon the reservation using the club meeting agenda, where members will sign in and sign up for various roles. And this is basically coordinated by the VP of Education for the agenda scheduling. So this means that this club is doing really great. They're planning out their year. I also visited Sheboygan Toastmasters Club 2121. They not only have their dates populated because they ordinarily meet on the first and the third Mondays of the month, but they are also being proactive. They actually have a no meeting listed when it's scheduled for September 4th due to the Labor Day holiday. So great job, Sheboygan Toastmasters. You'll also notice for Sheboygan, they've gone a little bit further because they're adding in some of the district activities. So for example, September 9th, they have the annual business meeting showcased. I would like to showcase my home club, Cream City Communicators. We do much more than some of the clubs in District 35, not to brag, but simply to put out as an opportunity for consideration. We also add in our club's board meetings. We put in information that is related to the renewal of dues. We'll add information when we are hosting orientation or not orientation. We've even included information related to the most recent international convention. So the approach that you take is really quite simple. It's very easy. In 10 minutes, you can update your club calendar for the entire year. Simply log into the account and then you click on Club Calendar. Click in the date that you would like to have populated, enter the text. And what's beautiful about this feature is that you can copy the text, then click on Create Event, that saves it, and then you can go to your next date. When the screen pops up, all you have to do is do a paste feature, create event, and you can get these banged out less than 10 minutes. So that's one suggestion for you. Recommendation number one, updating your club website. Recommendation number two, update the Meet Our Member section or your photo gallery. Let's talk about a couple of examples. Last year, I was invited to visit a club with the invitation of possibly being a club coach. I didn't know anything about the club. I just simply went to their club website. You'll notice that I blocked off the name, and I wanted to meet the new members. I wanted to meet who I would be interacting with. The only photo on their website was of one person. That was startling to me. And I'm thinking, there is some potential here. But then when I went to visit other clubs in District 35, repeatedly, I saw information that was generic in nature. It's the Toastmasters branded photo, so that's good. But there's no other information about meeting their members. There's no other photo of their hybrid sessions. There's no photo gallery. So this is an invitation to look at your club website to identify not only how many people visit your website, which you will see if you scroll to the very bottom of the page, and I actually captured a screenshot here. This particular club had more than 300 visitors to their club. But when I asked them when I visited, how many visitors have you had to your meetings? They said 0. So think about the impact that your club website can have on visiting and prospective members. Here's a great example. Wisconsin Toastmasters, in the Meet Our Members section, you click on it, you scroll down, populated information. And this format is populated by the individual member. So there's no requirement for an administrator to populate it. In another club, Love of Laughter, they have a photo gallery. So you get to see the members and you get a sense of what their personality is. So my invitation is to make sure that you're capturing the personality of your club. Now, what happens if you have a club website, you have some customized information, but you don't have members who are actively logging in, signing up for meeting roles? Your club can create its own custom page in order for you to share, for example, one print screen from your Zoom meeting. It's really simple to create. All you have to do is launch your admin console within the free Toast Host site. On the custom web pages section, you can simply add in the information of what you want to have set. And then, ta-da, WYSIWYG approach. Add your contact, upload your image, simply scroll down, type in the name of the page that you would want it to reflect, list a position number, meaning the order in which you want the Meet Our members to appear, and then click Save. This process takes approximately 8 minutes. I've tested out with 4 different clubs, and 8 minutes was the average time. So less than 10, even for a first-time user. Recommendation number 3, review the content, number 1, to make sure it's accurate, but particularly the content for your prospective and your new members. Let me give you some insights from what I saw as I visited these other sites. Alice Chalmers, Toastmasters Club 189, they have a page dedicated for their guests. This is a page that includes a number of downloadable features for their guest packet. Great job, Alice Chalmers. My home club, Cream City, we have a page dedicated to become a member. This gives them the option to review what all the steps are from downloading the membership application, opening up the new member handbook, etc. On Cream City, we also have information for our members. Again, we're talking about content rich for both members, prospects, etc. And on this page for our pathways, we focus on the individual tutorials to help somebody through navigating Basecamp. What is it that they want to do, and how can they do it successfully? These on average are 1 to 2 minute videos on what the process is to accomplish the task that they are reflecting their interest in. Also want to give a great shout out to Milwaukee Metro speakers. If you log into their homepage at the very top, not only does it say that they're meeting via Zoom, but it also has the phone number for Justin Godfrey. So immediately somebody has information that they can contact them. But they also have an active Contact Us section, which I think is awesome. And when they click on the Contact Us page, Justin's name, his position, phone number is listed, and then the general information to be able to collect the data. And when you submit, it says, thank you very much. So awesome job, Milwaukee Metro speakers. Here's another club. I have an active Contact Us section, Spectacle City 2602. As a matter of fact, just the other day, I wanted to look at my calendar, identify openings that I have so that I can visit some other clubs. Spectacle City, they meet on the 1st and the 3rd Mondays of the month. I'm thinking, this is great. It works in my calendar. I'm going to go and visit Spectacle City on August 21st. I clicked into the Contact Us section today, entered in the information, got confirmation, and guess what? I got blacklisted. I cannot communicate with this club, and there is no other information on the page that gives me a phone number, an email address that I can easily identify. But what I took away from this is that they don't want me there. So my invitation is that you might want to ask all your club members, your club officers primarily, and ask them to use the Contact Us to test to see what is happening within your club website. You want to prevent being blacklisted, but in the event somebody reports to you that you have had somebody blacklisted, my invitation is to go into your club settings. There is a page called Email and Contact Forms, and there is a section for email security. Click through the email whitelist, go through the blacklist, and delete any restrictions that you might have. I didn't know if it was like a Yahoo address that I have in there that prevents me from going through, but this is an opportunity for your club to update these settings. Again, takes less than 10 minutes to review, less than 10 minutes to activate the Contact Us. Recommendation number 4, review and update your metadata. And why is this important? Well, let me give you a practical example. At the start of the 2022-2023 program year, my home club, Cream City Communicators, relocated. We went from our facility that we had been at for more than 15 years, and we moved a little bit further east. So it changed our physical location. So I wanted to make sure that our information was updated in Club Central. I wanted to make sure the information was updated on our Facebook page and on our club website. And that worked great. But when somebody told me that they had done a search for us, we were still appearing as a meeting at our old facility. I'm trying to figure out what the problem was. And lo and behold, I discovered what the issue was. They were not going to our club website, even though they knew the name of the club. What they were doing was typing in Toastmasters near me. And what that came up with in the search result from Google was our old contact information. So I had to do some updates within Google. But then this also helped me understand that the data listings that appear are something that I had not thought about. So my invitation for another 10-minute time period with your club website is to do a basic internet search. I am not talking about find a club through Toastmasters.org. So I want to be very clear that this is a different approach. So after I had done this research behind the scenes, and this took me about 3 minutes to do, then I made an update change in the metadata, and then I came back to verify the information had been updated. So now when people do a search for Toastmasters near me, or they just do a general Milwaukee Toastmasters, even though they may not know the name of Cream City Communicators, Cream City comes to the top of the search page. Not only does it come to the top of the search page, but it's very clear on when we meet, how we meet, and where we meet, which in my opinion are the most important, because those are the issues that people typically will call me about or send me an email about. Also, in my search results, my Facebook page appears. So this is really great. And when we see the two listed one right after the other, this gives us additional support. On the right-hand side of the screen, you'll also see that the address is now properly reflected, as well as the correct visioning of the map within Google Maps. If you need to make a change to your metadata, simply log into your Free Toast host site, click on the Launch Admin Console, and under the basic settings, the second section is your general description. This is the information that you would like to have updated. I will tell you that in my search of these 30 plus clubs that had provided the survey results, more than half of those Toastmaster clubs, and these are not necessarily the ones that have an unupdated calendar, but the information did not provide when they meet or where they meet. So those might be things you would like to consider to ensure that visitors who come to your website can confirm the regular information about your club. We're talking about the very basics. Let's talk about recommendation number 5. And this one is a multi-step process, but can still be done within less than 10 minutes. So recommendation number 5. This is about how do people who search on Toastmasters International's Find a Club section and confirming that your meeting information matches. Now, let me give you context for this one in particular. I am listed as a main contact for my home club, Cream City Communicators, but I am also in a high search result where I get regular phone calls every week from people searching for Toastmasters. Not Cream City, just any Toastmasters club. Last year, I logged in 87 phone calls, and more than 75% of those calls were referred to other clubs. Okay, more than 75% referred outside of my home club. So it's important for me to have updated information. Oftentimes, I will invite a club to check out the Find a Club website so that they can type in their zip code, but that always doesn't work. Let me give you an example. Now, in the previous slides, I did block out the names of the clubs, but I want to make this one very specific because this is the club that I often will refer people to because it's one of the few clubs that meets on Saturday. This is Speak Up Milwaukee. Jesse Franklin is a member of this club, and he used to be club president at Cream City Communicators. So I'm very fond of Jesse, and I know that the quality of the club meetings is very rich. When individuals search the Find a Club on Toastmasters International, they will find this general information. So it has the meeting times, it has the dates, and it has their location. And it also has a section on the other side of the screen where it says Get Directions. Great, they've got the information. But there's also a section at the top where it says, visit this website. And I did. And on the information for the visit their page and the meeting information, the locations don't match. This is why it's important to check out your club website to verify the information aligns. If you're finding that the Find a Club and the meeting venue do not align, this is an action item that takes 2 separate steps. The first step is built within Free Toast Host. Once again, you'll want to launch the admin console. Then underneath the meeting information and directions, you'll want to use the scroll bar on the right-hand side and come down to the section where your text appears indicating the actual information. Once you're done populating those details, you'll want to scroll to the bottom of the page and click Save. That's the first part. The second step is that you need to log into your Toastmasters account, toastmasters.org, using your email address. And as a club officer, you will want to click on Club Central. Then you'll want to scroll down to the section about club management. Click on Club Contact and Meeting Information. From there, you'll have the opportunity to update the general information, meeting dates, etc., address. You'll notice that there is the meeting location at the top, the meeting schedule at the bottom, and there's a map on the right-hand side. But even if you save the new address information, assuming there has been a change, the map marker does not automatically update. So you will have to save the information you populate, reopen the page, and then come back in and physically remove your map marker to get to your new location. I spent several minutes making this move when we moved from Church in the City on the east side of Milwaukee to Shorewood, just because that little dot would not properly move. So it might take a few tries, but the investment in time to get this information right will not only steer prospective visiting Toastmasters and visitors to your actual venue, but it will make the process for referring other people to your clubs much easier. And of course, when you're done moving your map marker, scroll to the bottom of the page and click Save. I don't know how many of you are familiar, but Free Toast Host has a very active user site. When I'm done with the formal portion of this presentation, which is coming up in about 30 seconds, I will populate this site into the chat box so you can save it. One of the things that is very useful in their user site, it is that it also has a Q&A section. And Free Toast Host also has a user Facebook page where you can populate information and get more details. And clubs from around the world who use Free Toast Host can also contribute to your learning. This is a great opportunity to update your club website. 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, and 10 minutes. Just mapping out investments of time to update your club website. Yuri, those are the 5 recommendations that I have to update club websites. I will stop my screen share and am open to questions for Q&A. And if people are interested in how they can use their Pathways curriculum to also get credit while updating their club website, I have a number of ideas.
Thank you, Kathy, for the most insightful presentation. What we'll do next is we'll open up the we'll spend next 30 minutes for questions. If you have a question, please raise your hand or simply speak up. I will try to get to everyone.
Yuri froze. It's like we've got Robert and Katie and Tom who all have questions. Robert.
Yuri unfroze.
Okay. He's still
I
frozen
just,
on mine.
I just want to say, I don't have a question as much. I just want to thank Kathy Shine in particular. This presentation is everything I love about Kathy Shine presentations. When she said, I did this 3 times on 4 different websites or whatever, and it took an average of 8 minutes, that's awesome. Kathy really puts in the work on these presentations. This was a lot of work to get this together, and I really appreciate all the tips. I'm a web developer. That's what I do, and I'm sitting here looking at this like, oh, that's interesting. So Kathy covered an awful lot of fantastic stuff. The other thing I just wanted to flag really quick, that support.toastmastersclubs.org. If you are having a free toast problem and like you've lost access to the site, you don't know how to get back to it, that's where you go. Ask them and they'll get you pointed in the right direction. Because if it was 25 officers ago and you need to get back in, they can help you with that. That's all
Yeah.
I have. Thank you so much, Kathy.
Yeah, thank you, Robert. And actually, that brings up a really good point. I'm serving as an area director in Northern Area 3 this year, and one of the clubs in my area says that they can't update their website because their webmaster passed away over a year ago. So they didn't have anybody updating their site. And I said, well, I'm sorry to hear that the person passed away, but there's a way that you could work around that. So by sharing the information and getting them the process to be able to take that over again and then restart the site has been very beneficial for the club, and they're already making progress. Thank you, Robert. Katie Adams from Fox Speak.
Hi, Kathy. Thank you so much for your presentation. Part of my question may have just been answered by you in terms of getting into the website. I'm having a difficult time, well, first getting in. I feel like our president has access, and we were going through the website and I was given rights and I was able to see many different things like adding agendas. And then the next day it was just taken away. So I will be referring to the link that you gave me. When I am able to get in, my question is there a way to remove members from the directory or the distribution list?
Yes.
Are you able to help with that, or is that something that the website could help me?
It's a complicated process, which is why I wanted to focus my attention more on the public-facing side of the club website rather than just the member-facing side of the website.
Okay.
There are multiple steps to be able to add and remove members, to establish their rights. One of the features that I had shown earlier in the presentation, where it was the Meet Our Members, which is a built-in section, those are the features that each individual member has to self-populate. So if you're thinking about improving that section, that will be very important to have those members having their credentials set properly. In our club, we had tried that for, I think, 4 years, and it was a bust every single year. Our members just did not want to log in. I don't know if it was resistance at the time, if it was a technology issue at the time, but we've just totally stepped away from that at Cream City. So if you're looking at the club management features, please use the Free Toast Host site, and they have different blocks on their schedules and on their website that will walk you through specifically what those processes are. So it'll be a great resource for you, Katie.
Okay, excellent. And when it comes to the distribution list, so there's a feature where you can email the agenda and it automatically goes. Is that what you're talking about? You can edit those names too. Okay.
That's
okay.
all linked together.
Very good. Okay. That's exactly what we are looking for. And in terms of also adding agendas, that's part of getting additional access.
Yep.
Very good. That's what I need.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Tom Carlson, you're up next. What question do you have? Tom Carlson, your hand is raised. Do you have a question?
If I go to my club's website and find a very minor correction, such as a date or maybe a meeting room where our meeting is, can I fix it?
It depends upon what the club has set up for user access. Oftentimes, the club might restrict it to their VP of Public Relations, perhaps the club secretary, perhaps the VP of Education, or They might have a separate webmaster. So the login as an administrator to your club website will depend upon what the settings are. I was active at Plymouth Toastmasters in the Sheboygan, Plymouth, Wisconsin area. I was active with Speakeasy Toastmasters and Cream City Communicators. And while I am currently not a member of one of those clubs, I still have admin rights. So I have access to these clubs. So I guess part of the question is, have you had engagement with your club officers to find out, number one, if you have access, or can you simply bring up the change to the officers who do have access? So updating the club website really depends upon who has those administrator rights. Does that clearly give you context, Tom?
Yes, but what do you recommend?
Well, if you are not an admin, I would say go to your club officer team to find out who is, and then, maybe just type up a brief email to say, please update our club website. It is listed in section whatever the page might be, and then identify what error there is, or if there's information that's missing from the site, please add. So depending upon who your clubs are and what information has to get updated, it could be done very quickly, ordinarily, if it's just like a typo or a room change.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Tom. Laura, Laura.
Shoner.
Shoner, there we go.
This has
Walworth
been,
County.
that's right. This has been kind of a frustrating thing, and I don't quite understand it. While you were talking, I just double checked it. And when I go to find a club, now my address is on the, in club management at Toastmasters International, there's a billing section.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently I have to put something in there. So I had my physical address there, and I spoke with Lee Sampson the other day, and we worked on it, and I took my physical address out and just left the P.O. box. But it shows that Walworth County Toastmasters, if you go to find a club, meets in Twin Lakes, Wisconsin. And it doesn't. It meets in Elkhorn, Wisconsin.
Then that would be a change that would need to be made.
And I'm trying to figure out how to change it. And I've tried several things. Nothing's worked. And I don't know what to do.
Well, let me offer this as one suggestion. Let me set up something behind the scenes here real quick. And let me get it set up. And I want to be clear, you're talking about the Club Central information, not about Free Toast Host. Is that correct?
Correct. When I went to Toastmasters International and I went to find a club, I put in my zip code.
Right. So here's the thing that will need to be changed in Club Central. And I did highlight this on one of the screens when we were talking about the recommendations of verifying the find a club and then the details for your club information. So the section that you'll want to go to on the club website is the meeting info and directions page. So that's on the Free Toast Host side. When you get into Club Central, the section that you're going to want to update is on the contact information page. So there are two separate steps that would need to be updated if they do not both match. But it's really easy to make that change inside of Club Central. But you do typically have to be within one of the top 6 officers to have access. I have been told that the Sergeant at Arms does not have access to the club, to all the Club Central details. So depending upon what your officer position is, that might be one little issue that could get in the way. But ordinarily, Club Central gives you those features to make those updates.
Yeah, I'm VP of membership right now. So, I think I have pretty good access, but I'll be darned if, I just didn't check it and it still shows my Twin Lakes.
Sure. Well, what we could do after the session is done, if you'd like to stay on, if we have permission to stay a little longer, I could walk you through that process.
I'd appreciate that very much. Thank you.
Excellent. Yuri, you have a question.
Yes, my question is about one of the recommendations. I believe it was number 4. Review and update metadata
Yes.
From kind of what I gathered is when you showed the search in Google,
Mhm.
was that search after you made the correction or before?
The image that I showed was after I made it, because on the initial search for the Toastmasters near me, it did not properly reflect the change. So when I had made the updates in Club Central and on our free Toast host site, I had not updated the metadata. So this was a change that I needed to make for this year.
Could you please review again where the metadata is kept, please?
Sure, let me just go back to that and go back to my share. Whoopsie daisy, it locked back up. I gotta scroll through. I'm sorry to take your eyes through here. So this was the recommendation number 4 to review and update the metadata. Again, this was the Toastmasters near me search. I actually have a friend who uses her phone to search for everything, and it's, find McDonald's near me and find a Mexican restaurant near me, and now it's find Toastmasters near me. And she was the one who brought this to my attention. So again, what you'll want to do is to log into the admin console, and then in the basic settings that just naturally appears, it's the very same page. There's no other change that's needed, and you'll just update that information in the description section.
This is tied
Yuri, I might have not heard everything you said. I heard, is it tied to?
yeah.
Is anybody else hearing Yuri?
No, I've got him locked up.
Okay. Does anybody think that they could predict what he was trying to ask?
Possibly asking how the data gets from the club website over to Google.
I don't have the answer about that because I'm not an expert in IT and networks and streaming. I just know that it works. I worked with a number of other clubs to get their information updated. Again, this change took about 6.5 to 8 minutes on average. I just know that after the results were populated and added, it worked. So I would say just give it a change. I don't know what the technical background is to have that populated. I'm sorry, I don't have a specific answer for you, Yuri. And Robert, I see you have a question as well.
Yeah, well, actually, 2 things. That question with what Laura had for updating the club stuff, I dropped a link in the chat. Everybody can take a quick look at that.
Great.
If you have that problem. And Katie was talking about member lists and that sort of thing. One just quick little pro tip that I used to advise clubs: in that member list, you can create roles for area and division director, because eventually you're probably going to want to put them on your agenda if they're doing their job properly. So you just make a role for area director and division director, and if you don't happen to have their email address right offhand, well, A, get it, but B, you can put in one of your other email addresses. It's just so they show up on the agenda. And just the other cool thing in general, I know I have a couple more questions here. Free Toast has a ton of stuff in it.
Mm-hmm.
It has treasurer dues requests. It has dues follow-up and tracking. It has a complete agenda templating system.
Mm-hmm.
There is so much extra stuff in there. Most people have Free Toast, and they have all these problems with their club, and they're thinking, how do I do this? And odds are good that a lot of the problems you're having, Free Toast has something that at least somewhat addresses it. So if this thing with Kathy here has piqued your interest at all on getting into Free Toast, click into some of the other tabs in that back-end interface and see what all is there and explore the tutorials, because there's a ton of really, really good stuff hiding out
Robert,
there.
you just addressed one of my closing remarks, so I won't have to repeat that. Let's go to Dick Hawley for the next question.
Sorry, Kathy.
No, that's great.
I think you probably answered it here, this free Toast user site, because I struggle we have Speechcraft every 6 months, and then I have to bring those Speechcrafters in as members so that we can put them in the agenda. And I always forget how to send out that email to them to give them approval so that we can get them into websites so we can list them in the roles for the agenda that we send out for each meeting. But I think if I go to the free Toast user site, it'll help me through reminder, because I do it every 6 months, and by then I forget how to do it, and I spend 20 minutes on something that should take 2 minutes. So that's a big help. I appreciate that, Kathy.
Yeah. And what might be helpful for the future, let's imagine, for example, that this will be your last year managing your club website and you want to pass it down to another officer next year. Having that process in place so that others can step into your role and do the activity for adding speech crafters or other new members as they come on board, having those follow-up activities in writing somehow. One of the things that I have been doing behind the scenes that nobody else sees is that in our Cream City website, I have made things public where everybody who goes to our website, they can see it. But then I've also set things to being private so that only club members can log in and see something. So I have quite a few process items on our club website, but they're not for everybody to see. So they can see step by step what those action items are. That might be an activity to think about in the future. And it actually links back to one other suggestion that I had, and that Yuri said in the introduction, is that there are quite a few pathways projects that could be incorporated to use throughout the process of updating your club website. Let me give you a practical example. In many of the level 5s, it is either a required or an elective project for high performance leadership. A couple years ago, and it was actually my HPL project in my innovative planning path, I used it for the sole focus of improving our club website. And we wanted to address the issues of information for club members, prospects, visiting Toastmasters, and guests. And this is kind of how all this came about. And what my plan was to bring together members of our club to assess the website. I'm too close to it. I'm serving as the webmaster. I'm too close. I can't see the errors anymore. I can't look at something and say, this is what's missing. I cannot identify the information that doesn't make sense to a visitor. I had to look outside of myself. Now, I'm not saying that we had a permanent committee, but we had a team of brand new members, which was awesome. I had a team of 3 people, and I assigned them 4 different web pages. Their task was to review the information, identify gaps, identify things they thought were great, identify things that they thought were missing. And then from that information, we were then able to move forward to make updates and changes to our website. Let me give you a practical example. One of them made the comment that, yes, we have information about dues and join fees, because that's a question that everybody asks. How much are your dues? So we have a spreadsheet in place, but it's saved as a PDF that people can open on our website. So they can immediately see, if you join in the month of X, this is how much money you pay for this length of time. That was great. They loved it. But they said, well, where's the application? I said, oh, well, it's on the public download section. They're like, that's not going to work. You need to put it into one page. That's where the Become a Member page became active on our club website. So getting their insights was very helpful because, again, it was outside of my zone to review. Another invitation that I have for members who are working in a project where you are serving as the VP of Public Relations, or maybe you don't have an official capacity as your club's webmaster, serving it as a volunteer capacity for 6 months. This is another great opportunity, level 5 in pathways, to focus on updating your club website. So this is one idea, but there are others, such as developing a social media plan. And just take a peek at your pathways projects, beginning at level 3. There's even a project in there on creating a proposal. So launch that, share it with your team on your executive board meetings to say, hey, I want to make these changes on the club website. I'd like to build a committee. Here, I'm going to do this level 3 project. Here, I'm going to do level 4. And these 2 projects, I'm going to do level 5. HPL project and serving as a volunteer in this capacity. You can map out so many activities using your Pathways curriculum to make your progress more rapid, even if you're working in your level 1, level 2, or level 3, but you can get a jump start on other projects. So I'm hoping that insight is helpful. I see Todd on the line today. Todd, and I see you nodding your head sometimes, and I saw a couple thumbs up. Your feedback tonight. Any suggestions about using the free Toast House? Because I know you're active in quite a few clubs.
So I do appreciate the presentation. Thank you for all the hints, tips, and tricks, because it's one of those things you don't touch very often, and when you do touch it, it takes forever. So I always said it takes way more than 10 minutes. So I'm going to try that 10-minute routine, but I don't think I'm going to get it done. I think the last time I did an agenda update, it took me like 3 hours. So I don't know where you get all the quick little tips and tricks, but it'd be great if there was a handout.
Use the user link. Use the user link. All right. Any other questions? Laura, I see your hand up again.
Yeah, going back with Robert Wall's suggestion about adding a user for guests and stuff, he explained that to me once, and I created a user called Distinguished Guest and gave it a Yahoo account. And basically, it's a non-paying member, but it's like a placeholder, and we were able to use it for our last meeting to plug in a speaker. Lee Sampson joined us for his district visit. But I also wanted to, I guess, again, ask you where that billing address comes in. What are we supposed to put in the billing address in the, in Toastmasters website?
In Club Central?
Yes.
Again, I would say whatever your club president address is typically how it's set as a default. Okay. But some clubs don't have it listed as the club president's address. Again, that's something that you need to talk with your officer board about to make that official decision. I don't feel comfortable giving a suggestion because there are too many variables for that particular query. I'm sorry, I can't, answer that one outright.
Okay, thank you.
I would like to call on Susan Bruchafer, who's here with Menominee Falls Toastmasters. If you are unaware, their club won Best Club website last year. So Susan, tell us one thing that your club website offers that might be unique to Menominee Falls.
That's a good question, because I don't know that it's unique, but it's something that helped us, I think, to win that award. And that was, we started taking pictures of our meetings, as you noted in your presentation, so that we had pictures of awards being presented. We had pictures of the full gallery, because we project on a wall. So oftentimes you can see the in-person people as well as the virtual people on the same wall, and having a picture of that. I would say that's probably I don't know that it's that different, but it changes every week, or we try to keep it changed every meeting. And that's something that maybe people look forward to, because if they see stuff that's different, it shows that you are paying attention, and you don't have the same people at every meeting. You don't have the same backgrounds. It changes. It makes it more interesting to your visitors and your club members.
Yes, you're spot on. I'm going to do one more screen share. And again, because Cream City is my home club, I just want to share this information with you. Let me do a full size here. There we go. What we do on our website is when I log into the site, the very first change that I make is at the very top of the page, website updated with the date. I typically log into the site probably 3 to 4 times per month, and I will make little tiny changes. For example, we have the dues changing from $45 every 6 months to $60. I know that Toastmasters International is in the process of updating the application form. That's one of the things I'm going to have to upload as soon as that comes through. But right now, we're still using the one that lists the $45 for every 6 months. So that will have to be something actively changed. But on our club website, we have, get to know Green City communicators in our Toastmasters program. I love this homepage because this is, who the people are going to meet. What we invite everybody to do is to take themselves off of mute so that it doesn't look like they're being canceled out and how they typically have the name at the bottom. I want people to look great, and we ask people to smile, and we, do different fun things. If I scroll down the page a little bit, we also have an active video. So Chris Poole is active this year as our VP of Public Relations. She's not our webmaster, that's my role this year, but she's also acting as our VP of Education and also as our club treasurer. We had a major changeover of members this year, but she's got a video out here. And if you think about all these great resources that we have, anybody who has a Zoom account, you can create a 1 to 2 minute video welcoming people to your website. Prior to Chris's video, we had Tracy, our past club president, and she would be pointing up, check out our club calendar, it's up over her shoulder, or click on the new member page, we'd love to have you visit us. You can be fun and you can be creative and you can invite people to be part of your club. I'm going to scroll down to the very bottom of our page. I'm going to move something out of the way here. In the last year, so since August 21st of 2022, we've had 4,130 visitors to our club. This is way above where our number was last year. It's almost, I would say probably like a 25% bump. We average between 2,500 and 3,000 on average. But the reason is that we are listed in so many different directories. In my metadata that I have on my club website, I have added in terminology that links Green City to a bigger universe. Oftentimes, what I will find in other clubs is that it's only their name. But what happens if people don't know what your club name is? Or what happens if you have renamed yourself? Which is a practical example that we had last year. Plymouth Toastmasters changed from Plymouth Toastmasters to Confident Voices. So that's an opportunity. One of the other things that we added this year is we used to have all of our photos on the homepage, but now we've restructured that. We added a specific photo gallery. I hope this Zoom thing is not blocking your view. So what we wanted to do was to, give people a sense of what is it like if you're coming in person, because we have lower attendance in person, higher attendance via Zoom, but we still wanted to capture people's personalities. So with the print screen that we did, then I just copied and pasted and put them together. And I only did this in PowerPoint. I have no fancy software. It's just a copy from the print screen, paste into my PowerPoint, and then I just crop like a regular photograph. So there's nothing fancy about this. And if I scroll on down, we did the Biz Expo this year. Chris was at the convention. Here we got some more members. We had a theme. We had another theme for Chocolate Day. So people can scroll down and they can see the evolution, if you will, about our club, some of our fun activities. We do Project Angel Hugs. So my invitation is simply this. When you think about your club website, what is the personality that is being shown to the community of people who are coming to find out who you are, right? If they're members, they're coming in to get the agenda. They might be coming to your club calendar because if you are on the 1st and the 3rd and the 5th Wednesday pops in, or the 5th Monday, and people get screwed up because they think it's every other, great opportunity to get the no meeting today on your club calendar, just especially after that 5th of the month. There are other opportunities to showcase what makes your club unique. I was visiting, I think it was last week on Saturday, because I've been pulling in information from these websites over the last 4 to 5 weeks. And I was at Resource Advanced Toastmasters, and they created a video that's linked on their page, and it is on building leaders for the future or something like that. It's been a while. And they had 6 different members in a line, and they were all talking about what pathway they had chosen. So they introduced their name and the path. Short, sweet video. I don't think it was more than 1.5 minutes, but how simple and creative is that? Even in a Zoom environment, you can invite everybody to be prepared. Hi, my name is Susan and I'm in innovative planning. My name is Laura and I'm in presentation mastery. I'm Dick Hawley and I'm in fill in the blank, right? Very simple little recording that you can do because via Zoom, right? We're recording tonight. How easy would that be to put something out there showcasing your club's personality? That's my invitation. Don't just do the assessment yourself. Ask all of your club members, put together a high performance leadership project, have other people investigate your site, identify where there are gaps, identify where there are opportunities to add content. If you want to go to Cream City's site, click on our Pathways page and copy all those tutorials and paste it to your own, have at it, right? This is not about, it's not my information. It's just that I've taken the time to gather the information to make our members' experience richer. I don't want every member of our club calling me on the phone or sending me an email to say, how do I mark a project complete? Now, not that I don't want to have those conversations, but if I have that conversation with all of my members and all of the individual members of the clubs that I'm supporting or the members that I'm coaching, I just don't have the time. So we want to balance our life, our personal time with the commitment that we're making to Toastmasters, which is why I suggest 10 minutes to a better club website. Back to you, Yuri.